Welcome to another episode of Health and Wellness. I'm your host, Rosen Green. Our guest today is a trained herbalist practicing herbal medicine for the past 35 years. He studied and apprenticed with the world-renowned master herbalist, Michael Tierra, and received his certification as an herbalist from East West School of Herbology. This renowned herbalist is completely dedicated to providing personalized, high-quality care on an as-needed or preventative basis. His service to humanity spans over 35 years on the island of Grenada, New York, Virginia, Atlanta, and numerous states and countries throughout the world. We are referring to no other person than the master herbalist, Patrick Delves. Welcome to Health and Wellness. It's a pleasure to have you on Health and Wellness because we have heard a lot of stories about different illnesses that persons go through. So today, with our viewers, we're just going to go through some illnesses and just how, from your perspective and your well-trained background, as to how to treat people without using all that medication. First, we're going to talk about sickle cell anemia. What exactly is sickle cell? Let's start there.
Well, first we're going to say that we're going to give thanks to the Most High, Glory to Him. Sickle cell affects a lot of people from African descent, and a lot of Mediterranean people, like Indians also. And it's a condition where there is no oxygen with the hemoglobin moving in the cell membranes. So then it becomes stuck, and it affects the cell membranes, and they start to collapse, and you start to have pain in the joints, and you lose of the eye because it start to affect your liver. All right, so that's, in a layman term, that's what it is. No oxygen going to the cells. But in the medical system, they say there's no cure. But we have been treating people who have sickle cell, or who are sickle cell, as they call it in the Caribbean, and they've been getting very good results from the treatment. So the first thing the medical system do is just put the patient on folic acid, which is important because it helps with cell division.
But is that good enough, though?
Well, not good enough because they still have attacks. Some say it's not good enough because they're not going to the cause of it. And the cause of sickle cell is because the cells become sickle because there's no oxygen going to the cells. Right? If there's no oxygen going to the cell, because oxygen is important, right? If there's no oxygen going to the cells now, the cells become like that. Sickle. The first mineral or trace element that prevents the cell from becoming sickle is zinc. And zinc is found in a few places. It's found in the thymus gland. The thymus gland is right under your neck here. And it's what we call the master gland of the immune system. And it houses your T lymphocytes. And it produces a hormone called thymosin, right? But you need zinc in the thymus to produce that particular hormone to produce your T lymphocytes. Now, if zinc is not in the system, the cell become like that. If zinc is there, the cell will become sickle. See what I'm saying? Then you have vitamin E, which is from nuts and seeds, all from nature, you know what I'm saying? They kill them from nature now. And vitamin E helps send oxygen to the cells. So the cells could move, or the hemoglobin could move properly with oxygen. Right? And then we use lots of vitamin C, about 5,000 milligrams per day, buffered. Buffered means that the vitamin C is going to be in solution, it's turned to like alkaline, 7.0. And then it helps to keep the tissues well, plus the B12, to prevent all the joint pain. And then we use herbs to help the liver, like a herb, the very important herb is called dandelion root. We use that there. And we use another herb called nettle leaf, and another herb called dandelion leaf, and then we fix sickle cell that way.
Do we take all of it together at the same time, or you take it at different intervals?
Well, no, we take everything at the same time, because I don't believe in multivitamins, Because with the multivitamins, you're only getting 30 milligrams and 5 milligrams and 10 milligrams, but you need at least 50 milligrams of zinc per day. You need at least 800 IU of the vitamin E per day.
Why is that?
Because the more of the vitamins and minerals is the better the solution to fixing the problem. And then you need about 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C per day buffered, and about 3,000 micrograms of the B12 in the liquid form, in order for that patient to see results. And we've been doing that for years, and we have patients who don't even come off that drug they give them for that for sickle cell, which is a drug they use for chemotherapy, for cancer treatment. That is to give them,
Oh,
it
wow.
helps.
Right, right.
But
what's the long term?
Bone marrow suppression.
Damage, oh,
it suppresses your bone marrow,
wow.
which is part of the immune system. So all the cells come from the bone marrow become sick because of that particular drug they use. In the medical system, it helps, but the side effect is the bone marrow suppression. So it's always good to go to nature, because that's where all the cures are. That's where it's at.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you recommend in terms of, do you say you meet a patient that has sickle cell, do you just take them off their current medication?
We don't do that.
What's the transition?
I like to use the word complementary medicine.
Okay.
Right? So because I work with medical doctors,
Right.
I work with Dr. Sebastian Peters, Dr. Trevor Friday, and what I try to do is educate them about plants. So what we try to do is we look at what the drug is doing to the patient that is giving them a side effect, and we conquer that by using herbs.
Right.
So for instance, if a person is taking a drug called linezolid,
Right.
which is an ACE inhibitor, and linezolid causes the patient to increase potassium in the blood.
Right.
So they have to give them a water pill to move it out.
Oh.
See, but the problem with the water pill is
Right.
it makes you lose potassium.
Right, right.
So we would say, okay, don't take the water pill, but take a herb
Right.
that have what we call is a diuretic effect on the kidneys,
Right.
but it's called what we call a potassium sparing diuretic. It moves the water out, but you don't lose all the potassium.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So it's complementary medicine.
Right.
Zestril also decreases zinc that is found in the thymus gland.
Right.
So if you're taking Zestril, we give you a zinc supplement. So it's complementary medicine I practice.
Right.
So
So
it is.
you also practice too, and then we're still on the issue of sickle cell preventative measures.
Yes.
Is there any possible way that we could at least do something, even in our diet or something, to help prevent or lessen the chance of having a full-blown sickle cell anemia?
Well, as I said, the key prevention medicine is to use plants, herbs, and also vitamins and minerals that helps, or food that have the vitamins and minerals
Right.
to help to prevent these conditions. That's the key.
Right.
A lot of people eat what we call dead atoms,
And what's that?
called dead foods.
Okay.
Food dead.
And what are some of those
dead.
food? 'Cause
Cook it
we-
in the fire.
Oh, wow.
So I eat once per day, 4 days a week.
Is that enough?
Yeah, and I'm 61, right?
Okay.
So I ain't die yet. And there are people who are eating 3 times, 4 times per day, and they end up in the hospital full of them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they're eating dead atoms.
Right.
So with the more dead food you eat, your tissues and your cells don't function because they can't function, because the body functions on minerals, vitamins, amino acids, and enzymes.
Right.
So if there's not these compounds or flavonoids in these foods, then the body suffers. You start to get diseases. So I always teach what we call a so-called raw diet,
Okay. Okay.
prevention.
Okay. And I'm going to be a little bit inquisitive in terms of, just tell me a little bit about your diet personally.
Well, I don't eat flesh protein,
Okay.
and I don't eat proteins at night. I eat proteins in the morning because once you're living in the Caribbean, where we're from, we have a lot of diabetes in the Caribbean now, and a lot of people eat sugars in the morning, proteins at night, meat protein that is,
Right.
fish and chicken and turkey, and although proteins are building foods, but they are toxemia foods because of the length of time they take to come out, so they become acidic in the body.
Exactly.
See what I'm saying? And they don't have water, and the body functions on water, 80% water. See, so if you eat proteins at night, 7 o'clock, protein takes 12 hours to digest.
Right.
So you go eat a protein meal at 7 o'clock at night, especially in the Caribbean countries now, and you go to bed at 10 o'clock, where the protein is at.
Still sitting.
And your stomach don't chill when you're sleeping now. So 40 years of doing that, you started coming with troubles in your eyes,
Right.
heart troubles, high blood pressure, diabetes, sickle cell.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? Cancer,
Right.
because of the fermentation and putrefaction of the foods that cause all these conditions in the body. So I believe in what we call fast transit time,
Okay.
eating the foods to move quick, to come out fast.
Okay.
So if I eat 3 meals per day, I will have 3 bowel movements per day.
Okay.
The average person eat 3 meals per day, have the 1 bowel
one.
movement with the other 2 meals out.
They're sitting.
In the
Oh
belly,
my
man.
God, this is so interesting.
I'm saying.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk with him about other illnesses like diabetes and stroke. Stay with us. You don't want to miss this one.
Hello, I'm Alfonso Severos from Second Saturday. Right now, you are watching Health and Wellness with Rose Ann Green.
Hi, I'm T. Billy Martin from Women Are Talking TV, and right now you're watching Health and Wellness with Roseanne Green.
Thank you so much for staying with us on Health and Wellness. Today is a very special day because we have so many information for you, and we're here with the master herbalist himself, Patrick Delves. And we were talking previously about sickle cell anemia, and there's something that came up that a fan of yours wanted to ask. For a lot of persons that we're talking about in terms of how often should one go to
the bathroom.
To the bathroom.
To move the bowels.
Right, to move the bowels. And this is a very interesting question in terms of, for some persons, we have 3 meals a day, but we only go like probably
once per day. Lots of people.
Or even once couple of days.
Right. Because
how bad is that?
Because they create a traffic jam. And again, because they eat the foods the wrong way. If you if you eat the foods, if you eat the starters with proteins, it's a bad combination of foods.
Okay.
They call it all acid foods. And they create an acid terrain, so they cause a traffic jam because starches don't break down in your stomach, in your mouth and your intestines. Right. So once the starch meets the protein in the stomach, the protein breaks down in the stomach now, which slows down the starch.
Right.
When the starch slows up, you get what we call slow transit time. You start to get constipation eventually.
Wow.
So constipation leads to a lot of things: cancer in the colon, breast cancer, fibroids in women, also PCOS, and ovarian cysts.
Oh, wow.
Because once you have recycling estrogen coming back from the intestine to the portal vessel, then your fibroids start feeding.
Right.
Plus the excessive amount of synthetic estrogen invade the receptors and get in and stimulate the breast tissue and cause a woman to get not only breast cancer but also uterine cancer. So constipation is a very bad thing and lots of people have it.
Oh, wow. So one should make sure that they go to
every single day and always squat.
Okay. Okay.
If you put your feet like this on the toilet bowl, then this part of the colon called the sigmoid colon comes like this. So it squeezes out of the stool. You get polyps there. But if you put a stool in front of the toilet, 1 foot stool, and put your feet on top of the stool, like the old people used to do, then the sigmoid relaxes. You have a lot of ways moving. You have a better movement. That's why men get prostate cancer, because they don't sit properly.
Wow.
See what I'm saying?
I'm sure. A lot of us didn't know that. We just go. We just go. Like, in terms of, I didn't even know that there should be a specific position that you should be.
Yeah, and if you stay in the bathroom, if you stay on the toilet bowl for more than 1 minute, you're constipated. Serious stuff. You can't be. Some people go into the bathroom with a paper. You have to read. Half an hour, they're still there.
A lot of us.
That's constipation.
A lot of us do that. We're so guilty. I'm sure a lot of us like, oh snap. We're so guilty of that. But what are your thoughts about that? You shouldn't do that.
No. You have to go like no, and then your stool's supposed to be fat like your intestines, not thin. Some people have thin stools because of the colon walls being so contaminated with a lot of carbon from the food we eat, especially starches, that the passage become very narrow. So you have to get narrow stools.
Right.
So you have to have the stool fat like a 2-year-old. That's what it's supposed to be.
Wow.
Yeah, lots of people know that, you know.
Oh, no. And you touch on the issue that a lot of women suffer from.
Black women especially.
Yeah, black women.
Yeah,
and
fibroids.
Fibroids.
Yeah.
Like, talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, there are growths that are found in the uterus, and a lot of black women seem to have it. And again, it's come from excessive amount of estrogen, synthetic estrogen, not the natural one that God made now. Because there's 2 types of estrogen, you know. Right. The one a man put in the meat and the chicken and the cheese and the eggs and all them kind of food they're giving us to eat every day.
Right.
That kills us on a regular basis. That's the food that killing our women.
Right.
See? So once a woman eats these foods on a regular basis, and she's constipated also, and the liver is not moving the excessive amount of estrogen from the bowel, from the system, then the estrogen starts escalating and causes her to have fibroids, growths in the uterus. There are things we do to move it out, herbs that we use for what we call uterine circulation, and it shrinks the fibroid.
Okay.
But we look at the foods that the women eat and try to avoid them from eating all the foods that have the excessive amount of man-made estrogen. Okay. Because man not killing us. You know, the natural food that we put in don't kill us. Right. But one man started to do his thing with all the food, he messed the food chain up, and it caused our women to have a lot of problems.
Oh, wow.
And all uterus is for babies, isn't it?
Yes.
That's why God made a woman. Yes. She's the cradle of civilization.
Yes, that is true.
So we can't lose it, eh?
That is true. But how do you recommend that you would treat someone that has fibroids?
Well, we have a product called Uterine Tonic, and it's a fibroid blend, and we just use these herbs, and they help with uterine circulation. They help with preventing pelvic congestion. Right. And some herbs in there, like sapometo, help to prevent that, and sapometo also helps to prevent the fibroid from growing bigger. Okay. It's an herb they use for men, but it's good for women too. Okay. And we use a lot of herbs that increase the Chinese plant that we use to help the liver to remove an excessive amount of estrogen via bowels and create good or fast transit time, and then automatically the fiber shrinks.
What's the after effect? There's no effect.
No side effects at all.
Okay.
Only pregnancy and lactation.
For women who wait a longer period of time to have babies, are we at higher risk?
Down syndrome. That's what the medical system says. My mother had me at 47. I ain't Down syndrome though.
True.
Once a woman eat right properly, and she passed the age of 40, and she could eat the right foods, and we have a product that Dr. Michael Tiro makes it too. It's called prenatal care. That he makes with herbs and stuff to protect the fetus and the woman.
Right.
So you don't get a Down syndrome child at all. So that's a myth in terms of the medical system.
Oh wow. That's interesting.
Wonderful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But we want to talk about, as we group everything, I'm going to talk about more topics in a following episode.
Yeah.
But I want to touch on, just give us some pointers on, a lot of persons talk about alkaline diet. Yes. And we want to talk a little bit about that, just to educate people as to what exactly it is, and are there benefits, or how do you properly go about doing alkaline?
Well, there are two systems. One is called alkaline, one is called acid. So you go between 7 and 7.0 and 14. The body, the stomach is the only place in the body that's acidic because it produces hydrochloric acid.
Right.
Then you have the venous blood, which is 7.45, arterial blood 7.45, and capillary blood 7.45. So the blood itself is alkaline.
Right.
Then you have the saliva 6.9, the urine 7.0, the pancreatic secretion 8.0, and the intestinal tract secretion 7.8, alkaline.
Right.
So the only part of the body that's acidic is the stomach. So common sense will tell anybody that you're going to have to eat the food that keep the body in an alkaline terrain in order for the body to function better.
Wow.
See? So all green leafy things are alkaline foods. Then you have so an apple is a subacid, whereby an orange is the acid.
Right.
So you don't mix an orange with a ripe banana, because the acid and the sweet fruit don't mix together, because they more ferment and cause more acids. So once you alkaline, you know, your body functions better in a pH of 7.0. Right. But a lot of people base their programs on this alkaline diet, and that's not really true, because cancer creates acids. So if you have cancer, all the cancer cells do create acids also, but you have to have a balance of the acid alkaline system, which is 7.0. You keep the body that way, you don't get sick easy.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. And we want to talk about, in terms of, and you touch on a very important point, is that we merge. We eat stuff together.
Anything.
We're having a fruit salad. We're having
dessert.
Yes.
You dessert the food that you just ate a while ago. That's what you do when you eat dessert.
So we want to talk about some of the stuff that we can eat together. So let's touch on some of those pointers as we close this episode. Never
eat a fruit after you eat a protein food. So a lot of people eat desserts. Don't eat desserts at all. Desserts are going to kill you eventually long term. So you don't combine the acids with the subacids. So oranges, grapefruit, they all have the same seeds. They're like families. You could mix them with a grape or a pear, but you don't mix them with a banana or a pawpaw. See what I'm saying?
Right.
The bad in combination. You either eat watermelon alone or leave it alone. Or eat watermelon with no other fruit. See what I'm saying? It spoils digestion.
Right.
Also, all starches, rice, macaroni, pasta, they're all starches. They're acids.
Right.
And the proteins are also acids.
Right.
So you have to avoid mixing them together, because they're going to create more acid in the body, and they're going to put the pancreatic secretion at a pH of 5.0, which is going to give you diabetes long term.
So that pyramid diet.
That's a killer diet. That's a hospital diet. Wow. You live in a hospital eating that kind of diet like that. Pyramid diet. Everything in your plate. It's crazy. Because when that food gets into your system, your enzyme saying, hold on, which one I'm going to break down first?
Oh, wow.
Which one it is? And I'm going to break down the starches, protein, which one it is? So they go crazy and they get confused. And then automatically you put yourself at risk of getting all kinds of diseases, because all diseases starts in the digestive system and in the large bowel. That's where it starts.
Wow. Because a lot of persons are taught about, in terms of the pyramid diet, and if you follow these, you have a little bit of starch, you have a little bit of protein, you have a little bit of vegetables.
Not together.
Not together.
Because when you eat a starch, it starts breaking down your mouth, right? When you get into the stomach, the acid kills the amylase that breaks the starch down. See? So the starch can't stay in your stomach. It moves into your small intestines. Right. And then your pancreas and your small intestine secretes a little bit more of the amylase that breaks it down there.
Wow.
Same thing happens to the protein foods. When the protein gets into the stomach, acid kills it too. But the protein have a backup called pectin that resists the acid. So protein breaks down in the stomach now.
Right.
You eat them together, when they get to the stomach, what happens? The starch can't move with the protein. You have to wait till the protein digest.
Right.
So if the protein takes 8 hours in your stomach, the starch will take 8 hours and it will be idle. And what happens to the starch? Ferments and cause acids. And that's where you get acid reflux from.
Right.
That's where you get an indigestion from.
Right.
That's where you get varicose veins from. That's where you get eye troubles from. They all come from that.
Wow.
Bottom line.
Wow. And let's talk about mixing fruits and vegetables.
Never mix fruit with vegetables.
Never mix?
No,
Why?
no. And a tomato is not a vegetable, it's a fruit. Okra is also a fruit. Cucumber is a fruit too. They have seed, because fruits have seed, as they say. Because when you mix, the only fruit you should mix with a vegetable is an apple, because it's neutral.
Okay.
See? When you mix them together, the fruits take less time in the stomach, or a longer time, because it have less water than the vegetables do.
Right.
But it have a lot of acid there. So it kind of spoil the movement of the vegetable, which have 80% water. That's why it's important to eat a vegetable with a protein and a vegetable with a carbohydrate.
Right.
Because 80% water. So the carbs will take the exact time in the stomach and move. Exact principle with the proteins and the vegetables.
Right.
Quick movement.
Wow.
And that's what you want.
Yes.
Quick movement.
Yes.
Because when you're in a traffic jam, what happens? You get angry, you start to blow your horn. Oh, shoot, traffic jam.
You gotta go.
Once you create a traffic jam in your belly, you go on too, you're dead.
Yes, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That is
That's
so
what it's
true.
all about.
We're eating so many different things.
Yeah.
And
you know.
we're not realizing how many effects
That's
it
what
has.
we were taught.
Right.
We were taught the wrong way.
Exactly. For persons living in the Caribbean, we eat a lot of. We are saying, oh, I'm not eating white rice, but I'm eating wheat.
Same thing. They're all allergen foods.
Is it?
Yeah. Wheat is no better than we eat the white rice.
So that you're saying that the wheat is still
Wheat
bad?
is no good. We don't eat wheat.
Why?
Because they're all allergen foods. They cause in the intestinal tract to be clogged up, because they act as what you call plaster Paris. All starch foods have plaster Paris. 7% of the diet should be plant foods, should be carbohydrates.
Right.
7%. And 20% of your food should be protein foods. 20%. And 20% should be fruits. Because fruits they make you eliminate.
Right.
See? And they're cooling foods.
Right.
So they shouldn't be used in the winter time. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they're cooling foods.
Right.
So you retain the sugars. And then fruits also in abundance make you remove or move a lot of minerals out of the body. Because they make you go to the bathroom.
Right.
So you lose a lot of minerals. So they should only be 20% of your diet.
Wow.
That's what we're trying to teach our people in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
How to eat the food the right way.
Our diet is a little bit different in the Caribbean.
Oh, starches.
Yes.
Diabetes
we
like
eat
crazy.
a lot of starches. We move with a lot of starch.
And impotence like crazy.
Yes.
Man can't get hard at all. Whoop, he's dead. Boom.
Oh, wow.
Too much starch food.
That is so true.
Yeah, too much
That is
starches.
so true.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure that we're eating right.
Yes.
And we have to make sure that we're watching our diet.
Yes.
And this word that we call diet, as we wrap up this episode.
Diet. Diet.
Explain to me.
What a diet.
Explain, what is
Some
a
people say,
diet?
I said, what is the balanced diet? Balanced diet? What's the balanced diet? I don't know what that is. I don't eat a balanced diet. I eat food at the right time of the day to correspond with my blood.
Right.
So I eat what I grow and I grow what I eat. It's not about balance. Once you start to eat somebody else that, you're going to create a man disease. You're going to get it. So you have to eat what you grow, what you eat. Because we were taught by Michael Tierra that when you eat in your climate, you correspond to your blood.
Right.
So you live longer.
Right.
Once you incorporate another man's diet, you get the man disease, you die faster.
Right.
Because in the Caribbean now, we're getting cancers. The second leading cause of death in the Caribbean is cancers now.
That is true.
Besides strokes and high blood pressure.
That is true. And that's some of those stuff that we will be talking about in the following episode.
Yeah, crazy.
Because there's so many illnesses that we suffer from.
Yeah.
And based on the regions that we're at, we need to eat based on the location we're at. Because the foods that we
We're not
eat,
supposed to get these diseases.
We're not
We have
supposed
too
to.
much fresh water and beaches and ground foods. And still, in my country now, the number one killer is cancer.
wow, and that's sad.
Sad to say, man.
That's sad.
Jamaica ain't too far either. Trinidad is the worst.
That is true.
St. Lucia have the most diabetes in the Caribbean.
Wow.
1 in every 3 persons.
Wow. Thank you so much for being on
You're
the
welcome,
program. It's a pleasure talking with you.
Yes.
And as he was saying, that we're going to talk about this in the following episode, because this is a part 1 of a part 2 series as we talk about stroke, cancer, and also diabetes, the killer of a lot of persons in the Caribbean, also in the States. So stay with us for another episode. Thank you for joining us on this episode.
Hello, I'm Alfonso Severos from Second Saturday. Right now, you are watching Health and Wellness with Rose and Green.
Genesis 1:29, vegetation shall be for your meat. That's what the Master told us in the beginning. And that's the way we're supposed to eat in order for us to stay healthy. So everybody's talking about breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You don't have no breakfast. You know, lunch and dinner, you're supposed to eat once per day. One time per day you're supposed to eat in order for you to keep your organs healthy. So I'm telling you now, I'm showing you now how you should do it when you want to keep your heart, kidney, lungs, liver, all them organs here well. And if you want to have fast, trying the time making them food move from the stomach to your intestinal tract at the exact time. That's the key in staying healthy. Not having food lingering. See? So we're going to teach you now, right?